Being the youngest of 8 kids, I was always surrounded by people, but this constant company made it hard for me to be by myself. Just so you can picture how I developed this mindset, back in the UK, I grew up in a small terrace house. If you're not from the UK, terrace houses are quite small. They join together in a long row. They have a tiny front and back garden. Our house had 3 bedrooms. Me, my brothers, my sisters, and my parents had to share those 3 bedrooms. That's 10 people in a house. And if you're thinking, how do we all manage that? I'll tell you, we had a lot of bunk beds. You can just imagine how hectic that house was. Wherever you turn, you'd find someone to talk to or someone to sit with. You would never find an opportunity to be alone. Even if you went to the toilet, within 5 seconds, someone would start knocking on the door. To be honest, I loved it. Constantly being surrounded by family, older brothers, older sisters, even external family members. There was always someone in that house. As awesome as that time was, and as much as I love spending time with my family, that also made me very dependent on people, to a point where I hated being alone. I hated being alone that much that I would even spend time with brothers I hated. Whenever I was left at home alone for a second, I'd walk out of my door, walk 5 doors up to my sister's house, and I would just sit at my sister's house for a few hours, chilling with my nephews and nieces, eating her delicious cooking. There was never an opportunity to be alone. It was impossible to be alone. And for that one reason, I never developed the skill of being able to deal with loneliness. But as I got older, this became a big problem. When I needed to lock in for my exams, I found it hard just to be alone for a couple of minutes. When I used to go to the gym, I'd end up wasting so much time waiting for training partners. When I was home alone, I'd just go out, see any friend just to not be alone. All because I couldn't be alone. Once my brothers and sisters started to move out or move to different towns, I had a lot of gaps to fill. So in my 20s and 30s, I continued to struggle to be alone. So I would end up spending time and money with people who didn't really benefit me. It was only when I hit my late 30s, I was forced to be alone. And this is when I saw all the benefits of loneliness and being by yourself. That one situation changed the course of my life. And this all started with a crappy situation. My brothers decided to rip up my parents' house and make it a project and do something nice for them. I kind of see what they were doing. But when they were putting that house back together, what they were doing was something I didn't like. At the time, I was in Wales running my restaurant. That was coming to an end, so I decided to move back home and help them finish this project. But as soon as I landed back in Greater Manchester, everyone disappeared and I was left all alone to finish that house. What was supposed to be something me and my brothers are gonna complete together for my parents, I ended up finishing that whole house by myself. During those 3 months, I was pissed, I was angry, I was frustrated. But fixing that house all by myself and being alone for 3 months was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it was the first stage of becoming comfortable with being alone. Those 3 months taught me a lot, but also it taught me how much you can achieve and accomplish in a short period of time when you're all by yourself, you have no distractions, and you just put in the work to get things done. I had no building skills, I had no experience, but because I was focused, I was locked in, I was all alone, I achieved something what most people would look at and think, what the hell? But by being alone, I was able to get everything done. The second stage came when I completed the house. Now, once the house was completed, I thought everyone would be around, the house would be full again, and I wouldn't have to be alone. But things didn't go that way. As soon as everything was done, everyone was too busy with their lives, friends were busy with their families, and I was left alone all again. So for the second time, I had to become comfortable with being alone. You have to remember, I've always been surrounded by people. The last time I was in that house, it was full of family members. But this was the first time I was all by myself, and it was a strange experience. But because I spent the last 3 months working on that house all by myself, it became a lot easier. But also this time, I got to discover the true power of loneliness. It's during this time I decided to follow my dream and set up this YouTube channel. And this has changed the direction of my whole life. If I didn't get forced to being all alone and working on my house, when this time came, I would have fallen back into bad habits, spending time with people, going out and doing nothing productive. But because I was forced to be alone and I learned the power of loneliness, I used that opportunity to change my life. I created a plan so I could quit my NHS job. I started my dream business of doing online coaching with other men. I'm posting content on YouTube, sharing my experiences. I'm doing everything that I've always wanted to do. Help other men achieve the things that I didn't when I was younger. If I didn't embrace loneliness, I would still be stuck in the NHS working a 9 to 5 and living on other people's terms. But because I took the opportunity to be by myself and maximize the things I do in that time, I'm able to live my dream life out here in Asia. If I can do it, so can you. That's why I want you to embrace and also reframe loneliness. Most men have that mindset it's a negative but also a bad thing. That's why they can't enjoy it and embrace it. You need to start seeing loneliness as a good thing, but also as a way to level up and change your life. Once you start to see it as a positive, you'll want to spend time alone, and then you can use that time to change the direction of your life, but also achieve everything that you want. Another thing it will allow you to do is lock in and focus. When you're all alone, you have no distractions. You don't have to worry about your friends, your girlfriend, your family members. That means you can really focus and lock in without anyone saying, you need to do this, you need to take me there, let's go do this. When you have no distractions, you can lock in on another level. You can set up your day so it works for you and you can achieve the things that you want. You can wake up early in the morning, work on your business. If you don't have to go work, you can continue to spend the day doing things that will help you to achieve your goals. Instead of being distracted by your girlfriend and wanting to spend time with her in the evening, wasting your sexual energy, then feeling tired the next day, instead you can just be locked in. And that's one of the benefits of being by yourself and being all alone. You can just focus on the most important thing. You can turn your life around in a matter of months if you really want to. So take that opportunity to change your life. Another thing it'll do is give you the opportunity to do whatever you want. Because you're all alone and you don't have to worry about pleasing people, if you want to sit down and eat salad, you can do it. You don't have anyone questioning your decisions and your actions. If you don't want to watch Netflix, if you want to go bed early, if you want to sit down and just read a book, even if you just want to meditate, you don't have to care what anyone else is going to say. You can do what you want when you're alone. And that's one of the best things about being all by yourself. You can just make decisions without hearing some muppet saying, what the hell are you doing? It's not going to work, when they've not even tried it. But when you're by yourself, you can really just do what you need to do to make your dream a reality. For some of you, this will mean saying no to your friends, your family, even your girlfriend. Once you do that and lock in, you will be able to achieve so much. Now, if you don't have anyone there, instead of getting depressed or down with the situation, use this opportunity to lock in and change your life. It will also make you more comfortable taking that next step. For me, it was traveling around Asia by myself for the first time. Now, I was someone who always said you need someone with you to share their experience. Traveling alone will be boring. Why would you even want to do that? But when I was all alone, I decided I want to go traveling. I asked a few of my friends, they said they were busy with their family. So I decided to go all alone. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. I got to travel to the Philippines where I got to learn stick fighting. I went to Vietnam, I trained in jiu-jitsu. I came to Thailand for the second time and I got to take Muay Thai lessons. I got to do so much when I came all alone. Now that was a big deal for me because previously I hated being alone. I also believed that you always needed someone with you. But because I was able to spend time alone and see the benefits of it and realize it's not that bad being alone, I came out to Asia and had one of the best trips of my life. I got to experience so much in those 3 months. But if I never embraced being alone, I would have never have had this experience. That's why it's so important that you take steps to be alone because you don't know where it's going to take you. Just imagine I didn't change my mindset and take that risk of traveling all alone around Asia. I wouldn't be sitting in Thailand right now. That's why it's so important that you learn to be alone because it will change what you can do, but also it will open a world of possibilities. Don't get me wrong, I don't think you should spend your whole life being alone, but there are times where you need to spend a period just by yourself so you can really focus and lock in. When you do that, you will be able to achieve some amazing things. Now, learning to be alone can be very hard, but it also can be very boring. That's why you need to check this video out.